Hi everyone, welcome to this video. So today we're going to talk about how to improve your writing with these different techniques that I've learned along my relatively short career as a writer slash PR specialist. So obviously I write every single day all the time, and I've learned some things that I thought I might share with you and that might be beneficial. I'd say this is more for like a writer versus a PR professional, but I am going to cover certain things that could benefit you as a PR writer. And I'll also talk about sort of how I have to shift my voice when I'm writing, like for clients or to the media, versus how I'm writing as a person of the media talking to an audience. We're excited. Ran out of battery, but we're back. The first step to improve your writing, and something that I have been working on too, is to seek out a mentor or editor that can help you with your writing, can help you finesse your voice and your style. So I write for several different publications, so I use the editors sort of as my mentor, because one editor will tell me you're exaggerating too much, or one editor will tell me you need to cut this down. I take all that feedback and helps me be a better writer. And for you, I think that'll be the same thing. If you could just find somebody, it could be a teacher, it could be somebody who you know that has written before, it could be an editor, whoever, who can look at your writing and work with you on these things and sort of improve your writing, or give you a second set of eyes to look at what you're writing and to see it from a different perspective. Get familiar with grammar and good sentence structure, and to really study that. Try to read up on it and try to like finesse that part of your writing, because once you learn the technique, it'll be easier for you to use the techniques to your advantage and to really utilize language. And this is something that I always like to do, even for me. I feel like I know a lot of this already, but there's always something new to learn. And sometimes I will be looking up, like, does this have an apostrophe? Is this plural or singular? I feel like as you go, you learn more, but you never really stop looking up things just to make sure. So I'm gonna recommend The Elements of Style. I'll put it up here. It's a book that I read in high school that really helped me. I still have it and I still return to it. My next tip, and it's something that I do as well, is read everything. Like read books, read articles, read captions on the internet, because there's always something that you can take, or there's always something that you might like how this writer phrased this, and maybe you want to implement that style in your own writing. The more you read, the more you expand your knowledge on how you can better word this, or how you can say this, or what has been written about this in the past and how can I say it differently. I think that's actually something I do in my PR writing, because, like, for example, if we are distributing a new perfume or news about a new launch, I look up other press releases and see how that has been positioned in the past, how I can do it differently, what I like from the release, what I don't like. It really just helps inform what you already have. So like if you're writing a press release or something, I would start out writing with the information that you have and sort of creating a first draft, and then going to look at how other things have been positioned. Because sometimes when you look at things, like, you subconsciously like copy the style, so you want to like be able to get your own style and finesse that style, and then you can add like different elements from different articles or different releases or whatever else that you have read. Also, you can keep a folder, or like if you're a digital reader. I'm not, sadly, because I know that it's really bad for the environment, but I like to print out and read articles in print, and also read books that I can actually touch. So for me, like, the digital stuff doesn't work, but you can highlight things like using digital apps, and you can highlight phrases and words that you like, so that you can keep those things in your file. And once you're sitting down to write, you can go back and look at all of that and say like, oh, like I should use this word, or I should do this. So this is something that a lot of young writers go through, that I went through, that I still kind of go through, but now because I'm aware that I do it, or that I have done it in the past, I like edit it out, or like I try to check myself when doing it. But that's to eliminate like hyperbole and superlatives. So sometimes we want to like do a really good job at describing something, and we describe it as more than what it is. That sometimes happens with my PR writing, where I feel like I need to make something more exciting, and sometimes you can really go overboard with that. So just watch yourself as you do it. And it also can happen in your own personal writing, like if you're writing articles or if you're writing stories. Sometimes it's just better to let the story tell itself, and just in general to be a lot more descriptive of what is happening, and to do a good job at describing what it is that you want to get out versus exaggerating it. And to that point, I think it's also beneficial for you to familiarize yourself with more adjectives, because when you have more adjectives, you can describe things better, and you don't have to add so much to the story that's not there. Another thing, so in line with learning new words and adjectives, if you sign up for dictionary.com's, I think their newsletter has a word of the day, and I'm sure there's so many other services that offer that. So just sign up for that, sign up for a couple, and you get a new word in your inbox every day or weekly or however you want to set that up. And also you're learning new words and you try to implement them like in your day-to-day. It's sort of like that time where Joey from France was like learning new words and using them wrong, but you'd be using them right, obviously. Like you would learn how to use them and you can implement them in your daily vocabulary, or if you're like writing something and you just learned this word, you can implement that, or you can just read about it and learn about it. My next tip is when you're writing something and it sounds too cliche, try to reword it. This is something that I do in my own writing. Like if I think that the reader is gonna know what I'm gonna say, I try to reword it, or I try to rephrase it in a different way, because I generally don't like being predictable. But also in my writing, I really don't like it. Like I really don't like going somewhere where it's like, where the reader's gonna be like, oh, I already knew she was gonna go there. Or maybe I am going through like a thought that the reader knows that I'm getting at, but I don't like to say it in a way that it has been done before. So I always try to like switch up the phrase, or try to think about how else I can say something that hasn't been done before. My next tip, and this can vary because I know there are writers who work better at different times of the day, but I work really well writing in the morning and like late at night. So anytime that I can write with no interruptions, that I don't feel like people are waiting for me to get them something, or like gonna call me on the phone or whatever, I can work better. So normally I'll do my writing later at night, and then I'll do my editing in the morning. Like in the morning I feel so fresh and like renewed that I can just read something and I can see like, cut this out, add this, do this. And for me, like it's so beneficial to be able to do it that way. So that's a tip for you in case you're really trying to figure out when you write best. Also for my PR writing, I generally like to write in the morning. So if I already know that I have to write like a press release or a pitch or something, the next day I will do that in the morning. I'll try as like my hardest to schedule it in the morning, because that is just when I'm fresh, like my mind is so like fresh and ready to go. But sometimes obviously you have to do it later in the day too. Later in the day I can still do it and I can do it fast or whatever, but it does like, I feel like I'm dragging myself more later in the day. So I think definitely writing in the morning is something that has helped me. Tip, which is the most important, is to write uninterrupted. So a lot of times I'll sit down and I'll have to put my phone away for like an hour, and I won't look at it, I won't watch TV, like I'm totally in the zone writing. I get things done a lot faster when I do that, but I'm also in an uninterrupted flow, which allows me to do deeper work. I really think that when you write from the heart and when you have good intentions about what you're doing, and like instead of, if you have a lot of work or if you have a lot of writing to do, instead of like being like, oh my god, like I have so much writing to do, I'm so annoyed, actually try to finesse your writing, finesse your expertise, and try to be better at what you're doing at the time. Because I know like a lot of times, especially if you're in college, you have a lot of term papers or whatever, you kind of like rush through it. But I think that it's also really important to enjoy what you do, like enjoy the act of doing it and try to get somewhere with it. And I feel like that is my #1 tip, and what's actually going to help you like put your heart and your thoughts into writing and just move people in the way that you want to move them, or teach them in the way that you want to teach them. If you want me to do a writing video that's more related to PR and like press releases and like how you should position things and how to make things exciting and whatever, let me know in the comments below and I'll do that. I hope you like this video. I hope it'll help you with your writing, and I hope that I was able to bring you something different and different perspectives from everything else that has already been said out there. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, or you can always contact me on Instagram or just any way that you want. I love connecting with you. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back here later this week or next week.